A warm welcome to you wherever it is you've joined us from around the world. This is Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igwebike.
And I'm Choma Okohe.
All right, we'll be moving to our newspaper headlines to see what we have for you this morning. And right after that will be our main conversation also for today. Please do well to be part of our community. Have a say in what we say. You can always find and reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. With us today, joining us virtually to look at what we have and more virtually, that is, it's Dr. Ambrose Ibokwe. He is a public affairs commentator. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning, Dr. Ambrose.
The name is Dr. Ambrose Ibokwe, not Ibokwe.
Oh, Ibokwe. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much for the correction.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into our main conversation now. And our newspaper headlines, rather. We're starting from the Weekend Trust.
Yeah, Weekend Trust.
Yes. We have how Remi Tinubu donated 2.5 billion naira in 17 months.
Okay, still on the top strip of the Weekend Trust. The many controversies of Senate President Akpabio. Details are on page 39.
And also Kaduna Kogi hold LG polls today.
Okay, let's look at the big story here. My Story by General Gowon. The truth about Aburi Accord. We fought to live together. Now, the last rider to that particular story, I would have spared Ojuku's life if he had not fled.
All right, Doctor, let's take a look at this. I think this will draw us back historically. Most importantly, what happened between 1967 and 1970, which of course is still very, very fresh in the minds of lots of people. And this is more like a memoir of General Gowon. I'd love you to, what do you think about this? Do you think it's coming too late from General Gowon?
I have always said it, that General Gowon owes Nigeria a memoir, owes Nigeria a book on the Biafra Nigerian War. He needs to write before he goes away. The age is no longer on its side. He needs to give for posterity, because two of them were the main actors of those wars. They were the ones that were taking the decisions. They were the ones that were commanding the troops on both sides. That is General Gowon and Ojuku. Unfortunately, Ojuku left without giving us a first-person account of the Biafra War. We've lost that today, and we can never reclaim that again. Gowon is still alive, and he owes this country. He owes the academic environment, the intellectual. He owes the body of knowledge of history to deposit his own account of the Civil War. And if he doesn't do that, that means he has done a great disservice to mankind. So if this is just a statement from him, or is a book he has written, if it's a book, fine, but he should commit all these things into a book. He has made comments in the past 50 years of the war, 54 years after the war. He has made a lot of comments, but he has not really written a book. So let him write a book on this, so that we can get a first-person account of what has happened during the war. Because we need to know, so that we don't make similar mistakes. Nigerians need to learn from the facts of the war, not the propaganda being brandished by so many people in the name of writing. Let us know what his thoughts were. What was he thinking? I'm sure that he would have had diaries, he would have had a lot of other snippets here and there. Let him bring all of them together into a book. He has a lot of interviews. I've seen a lot of interviews he gave to the BBC, the VOA, the Deutsche Welle, and some other international media houses. All those things can be brought together, and a good book written out of it.
Sorry to cut you short, Dr. Ambrose. For Gowon not to have brought out a book, can we look at it from this angle? Maybe there's too much truth that when revealed might break the country or something. And then he's trying to just protect the little we have and just keep it intact.
And go to with it. Yeah, just to preserve the country.
Just to preserve the country.
I didn't get your question clear.
Okay, I said for General Gowon at this point now to have not released the book or said anything in general, don't you think he's trying to preserve something that would keep us united or keep us as a country? Because some truths are better left unsaid than being said, because it might destroy what we have remaining. Looking at the rate at which tribalism are really eating deep into the country at this point.
So the issue is that there's nothing the world is protecting. What is it protecting? Is it that we don't have the knowledge that 3 million Igbos were massacred in the Biafran Nigerian Civil War? Is it what it's trying to protect? We know those details. 3 million, almost 3 million Nigerians Igbos were massacred. Is it trying to protect the fact that Igbos were massacred on the train when they are coming back home? What is it trying to protect? There are histories we know. These things are in history books. We have some of these things. Someone like Frederick Forsyth, who was a journalist with the BBC, later went back, resigned, came back, and then wrote books. So what is he protecting? So we knew. So he cannot protect it. Is he want to protect the fact that Biafrans were left with 20 pounds after all the investment? So what is he protecting? There's nothing to protect. We only have all these things in the public domain. All we need him to do is his own first account as the main actor who is there. Let him state his own account. If there was some Aburi Accord, for example, that I have read the minutes as a teenager. I have read the minutes one page to page of the minutes of the meeting that happened in Abu in Ghana, and how he Gowon came back and reneged. So let him tell us why he changed his mind. It has not been speculation. Agreement was reached in Abu. Gowon came back to Nigeria and refused to abide by that agreement, and that is what escalated the war. So let him tell us the truth about these things, and let him stop playing all these galleries, playing to or hide and seek game. Yes. One of the things Gowon owes this country is let him explain to us why he refused to implement the agreements of Aburi Accord. And then perhaps we can now start understanding his reasons behind it and all those things. But all these, display, refusing to tell us what happened or saying that was what happened. Because the minutes are there, you can Google it yourself. Minutes of the Aburi Accord, where everything was agreed, and that was the end of the war. In fact, they shook hands thinking that the war has ended. He came back, had meeting with his cabinet, and he changed his mind and refused to have. So let him tell us why he refused to do that. Let him also tell us why he used hunger as a blockade. Today, Nigerians are shouting, Gaza, Gaza this, Israel did this to Gaza. Nigerians did worse to Biafrans. There was food blockade as a weapon of war. Let him tell us why food was blockaded, why from supplying, foreign aids that were supposed to come. And that is why when you change a picture of the war, you see a lot of Biafran children with kwashoko. Gowon owns an explanation why he allowed so many thousands of children, hundreds and thousands of children die because he refused food aids to come to them for a very long time during the war. So let's put those things in a book before he goes. He owes us those explanations.
Okay. All right. So let's quickly move on to the next daily coming from the Nation newspaper, and we have on the top of the strip there, federal government commences distribution of free CNG tricycles to cooperatives. Okay, moving on, the big story here on PDP crisis. Intrigues deepen as the amalgam digs in, and one writer to the particular story, acting national chairman goes nowhere, says Wike loyalists. And also on the bottom strip here, Lagos Council chairman opposed bill to scrap 37 LCDAS. Okay, moving on, how two teenagers killed their boss over 60,000 naira. That is really bad. All right, on our talking point here, declare detained Binance executive hostage. U.S. officials tell Biden. Dr. Ambrose, let's look at this issue. It's been a while now. The Binance issue, the executive one, of course, left the country. The other one is still in Nigeria, and we have it now that officials in the U.S. are asking Joe Biden to say it and make it known that this particular U.S. citizen is held hostage in Nigeria. Do you think their submission is wrong? It's right, and do you also think that holding this man still in Nigeria is good enough to protect our financial ecosystem? You see, the Nigerian judicial system is very slow, and
our prosecution turnaround is very, very slow. So you can't hold people indefinitely and go and get court injunctions and court orders. That's what we do in Nigeria. You detain somebody, you go to court, you start getting injunction. Sometimes you are getting court orders to keep the person. Sometimes you get the court order to prolong it. Sometimes you see them going to court and saying, oh, we need 2 more to do investigation. We need 4 more weeks. We need 3 months. We don't do those kind of things now. It shows that we are not a serious country. Before you even pick an individual, you have established a very serious premature case. That you must have established the fact that you must have done your investigation to a very high level, where your investigation is almost complete. And by the time you go to court, in fact, you charge the person the next day to court because you have all your evidence. But what we do in Nigeria, we arrest you first, detain you, and then we start looking for evidence. Where does that happen? We do it to our own citizens and get away with it.
Yes.
We do it to our own citizens and their own repercussion. But right now, I want to do it to a US citizen. USA is not Nigeria. USA is not Nigeria that allows a citizen to be humiliated everywhere they go, or killed, or manhandled. So already USA is reacting. Why have you not taken this guy to court? Why have you not prosecuted him? Why have you not even jailed him? So that we know he's serving jail time.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Ambrose, now looking at
him there. But it is not that the US should intervene on this matter because it's their citizen. Unlike Nigeria does not care about their citizen. The US quite cares about their citizen.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ambrose. Now, looking at it from this angle, how does this project us as Nigerians? And would this really have a say and influence the way investors want to come into the country and how they will be treated?
Yeah, because if you are treating foreign business people like this, no matter what we are talking about, we are talking about that they committed a crime. Prove the crime in court now. If somebody has committed a crime, you are not. Don't want to come out, prove it. If you can't prove it and the other one, they say he escaped, he left and he's traveled out of the country. You know, we are very funny people. That's why they take us as a joke. You know, they take us as a joke. And if somebody can do all that and then, so it's discouraging to a lot of, even the way our banks behave, the way even the government behave. Government can just come and cancel a contract that was signed by the last administration and nothing happens. You know, government can frustrate, you know. So we keep on saying FDI, foreign direct investment, when we don't have a conducive atmosphere for foreign direct investment. So other investors are watching what you are doing to this person. It does not go to say that the person is innocent. But if the person is guilty, do a diligent investigation first, so that by the time the person is coming to court, you already have your facts. You deal with them, decisively, and let them see where he has done wrong. And then other people will say, okay, when you go to Nigeria, the law is tough on criminality, the law is tough on this, so they will guide it. But now, we are looking at it as if it is a victimization. And when that happens, investors should stay away.
Very, very well. All right, so just before we leave, let's take a look at what's happening on Saturday, Vanguard, and let's just take a look at this big story here. Nigerians tell Tinubu, reject World Bank advice or risk implosion. And right below that story, there's this other one there.
That economics experts also disagree with World Bank, call for policy reviews.
Yes. All right, Doctor, I'd love you to expatiate on this, or maybe fleshing it out in less than 60 seconds, if you may. As a coach, you build people, you encourage people, you elevate lives and the minds of people. With all of these things facing us today in Nigeria, what do you think is your best advice to people so as to not get themselves, glitched into mental health issues and all the plethora of issues happening in Nigeria, especially as reference to the World Bank advising our president and our president moving in sympathical with them?
My brother, the truth is that I don't know what the World Bank is trying to do with Nigeria, but whatever they're trying to do with Nigeria is very dangerous. Very sinister. I hope they are not trying to do to Nigeria what they did in the Latin American and Southern American countries in the 70s and 80s, where they plunged those countries into a destabilized society because of hunger, because of poor economic policies. Because everything they told the Latin American and South American countries is what exactly they are telling Nigerians. And they are pushing Nigerians to the precipice. You don't tell us that our oil, we cannot buy it cheap. The oil is tapped in our backyard. You cannot tell us that the World Bank is mostly an American enterprise. IMF is a European enterprise. That they subsidize the economy heavily. They subsidize their citizens, electricity, housing, water, all those things. But here, they told us to remove all of them. Now, why are you following what they are saying? Our leaders have access to their countries and see where their country people live. They are asking you to fix everything in dollars to compare the rates of somebody who is buying fuel pump price in Texas with somebody who is buying it in Enugu. Meanwhile, at the same time, they are not telling you to pay salary of somebody in Texas and pay the person in Lagos the same salary. And our leaders are buying it. So there's a disconnect. It's either there's something that our leaders are not telling us, that there may be something our leaders are afraid of that they are not telling us. I don't know. Because I don't know why somebody will tell you to come and punish your children and you are punishing them. And the person telling you is good. Punish your children is good. In the long term effect, you will see it. Meanwhile, your children are dying through that punishment. It doesn't add up. Therefore, the federal government, we have tried it before in 1986-87. We took all the IMF, something called SAP, Structural Adjustment Program. SAP was what led to all our industries collapsing. SAP was what led Nigeria from a production country to a consumption country. 40 years down the line, somebody is coming to tell you the same story, and you are buying it. Now they have killed all our industries. What they are not saying is they are going after the ones we are subsidizing. And you are trying to remove all the subsidies. Your naira is falling disgracefully. And the person is still telling you and speaking English and doing PowerPoint presentation to you, and you are listening. Maybe I should advise the Minister for Economic Planning or CBN Governor or Special Advisor on Economic Matters or all these people advising. They should just go and read a book called The Economic Hitman. They should go and read The Economic Hitman, The Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Maybe to make them understand. But I know they understand. And why they are doing it is what I don't know. So all these textbook economics they come to real out to us. They first say there was World Bank was with the Yemi Cardoso was with Wale Edo at the end. They were speaking English. I was watching TV. I was like, is it that these people are so detached and disconnected from what is happening? If the World Bank does not know, because Wale do not have a village in Nigeria. Very well. Maybe he has cut off his people. Maybe he doesn't get feedback from the streets or all of them. If they do, I don't think they will be there speaking this kind of grammar. They will either be asking the World Bank, why should we do this? Explain to us. Countries have resisted the World Bank and IMF, and they have tried that. Singapore, Malaysia. They can't go to India and talk all this. Why are they not going to South Africa? Go to the tribal economies. They don't listen to all these textbook prescriptions of the World Bank and IMF. So why can't Nigeria take that lead? All the countries the World Bank are into, they are dealing with them now. Go and check them out.
Thank you so much, Dr.
So we need to start strategizing and seeing how we can ensure that these people's prescription, what they tell us to do, we checkmate it with our own people. And I will end with this. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says that the primary responsibility of governments in Nigeria is the welfare and security of its citizens. The IMF and World Bank policies is not for the welfare of Nigerians.
Thank you so very much. I think it's very important we repeat that again. The responsibility of government is the security.
The primary responsibility.
Yes, primary responsibility of government is security and welfare of its people. Sure. That cannot be yes, very well.
Overemphasized it for our leaders to get to hear.
Exactly. Thank you so very much, Dr. Ambrose. We truly do appreciate your time. We truly do appreciate your time. Thank you.
The analysis was well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, that's just about the time we have for this segment. But yeah. When
we return, coincidence or conspiracy? Are banks glitching simultaneously? We'll find out just in a bit.